good news for you. Hail. Yes? Have an order? Can I help? All right, your order is registered.
Oh man, these quantities is going crazy. Okay, I'm gonna just store those for now. Let's go do some ritual.
Have an order?
Go on. Speak.
I'll post it right away.
Time to finish what the Magi started. Wind howls! Need a moment.
A sliver of what my home feels like.
Proof of a prowess!
The wild one's power has
boy. Almost jumped out my seat just now. See if we can place this where we have our deli sitting. Okay, let's get that in there. We're gonna go for rarity items today.
Wild fool. Wind fury. That were almost a challenge. Hold on. Shake off the dust and let's fight. Need a moment.
You must be out of your mind.
Oh, I didn't put the omens in the way I was supposed to. My own ritual tablets. It's all good.
Wait. I need a moment. That was almost a challenge.
Oh yes, we will. We will leave here,
Storm's coming.
one way or another.
Insolent.
Yes, my beloved.
Need a moment.
Oh, we gotta go back in there. I gotta get my splinters. There we go. Can't not do the splinters, you know?
Go on.
We need them omens, chat. We need the omens.
Hold on. That was almost a challenge. Storm's coming.
What's Old Ross Saga going for? 79? Not bad.
The wind howls. A word. Hold on. Need a moment. You're mine.
Figure out where we gotta go real quick.
Wait.
You will never leave this place. My love, I call to you.
Yes, my beloved.
I need more time. Need more time. A clean kill.
Leave this place. You will never leave this place.
Need a moment.
Yes, my beloved.
I'll take that.
Let's go for this mage blood, yeah?
What is it?
Get the stash closer.
What's new? Have an order? Someone is bound to buy that.
Wait. Wind fury. I need a moment to prepare.
Your soul will join my steeple of death.
Wherever you go.
The spirits, yeah.
I am here, my beloved.
Need more time. Hold on. way. Need a moment.
Spirits are mine!
At your request.
What's new? I'll post it right away.
Yes?
Hail. Have an order?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. I'll do what I can to sell it for you.
You're mine. The wind howls.
I am Chikohama's hammer. You anvil.
Just want to see something real quick. Okay, we're still holding value.
The prowess.
Okay. What's Uthrid's Saga going for versus Greater Chaos Orbs? 8.5. Yeah, that's worth 3.
Need a moment. The eye of the storm. Come on.
Nothing like the scent of gunpowder in the morning.
Wait. A worthy soul.
They almost only as fears yearn for you.
I need more time.
Need a moment. Hold on. Broken prowess.
Wet.
Need more time. Right, finished. As are you. The wind howls.
Darkness descends, and with it, your end. Ah! The mists!
Hold on. Another food feast. Wait. Need more time.
Nothing like the scent of gunpowder in the morning.
Alright, I need more omens or something. This is... That's not it. That's not it, chat.
What is it?
No. Alright, let's do this gold ring for sure.
The eye of the storm. Slithering idiot. Ruthless prowess.
The voices warned you about him.
Need a moment.
Oops, didn't mean to click that.
Need more time.
speak.
The wind howls. A worthy thought. Back to the lock. Wait.
Oh, it's you. Someone is bound to buy that. news?
The wind howls. Stare dead. A clean kill.
News for you.
The eye of the storm. A worthy foe.
Gitarma! Gitarma lives in my blood! Akarui!
That's Gorilla the Oath. Brotherly prowess.
The spirit didn't abandon you, outcast. You abandoned it.
Good news.
What is it?
Can I help?
spirit didn't abandon you, outcast. You abandoned it. Submit to the stone. Forgive me.
I need more time.
Now vengeance. Forgive me.
Easy map right there. Cleared that out. Let's go. Next one up. I'm gonna try to do a
I have a
keep
buyer.
crafting on this ring here. Just doing it real slow. Use this. Alright, perfect. We got 92 live. Tier 2 for life. Let's see what we got here. This thing is coming out really well so far, I think. Let's see.
That was almost a challenge. Hold on. Wait. I need more time.
Hey. Yes, sir. Finally. Jesus Christ. It took forever, Chad.
The rivers shall run red.
A clean kill. Wait.
Oh, finally. Now we getting it, boys. Alright, I got no more to...
Shipment sent.
Okay, so now we're gonna do a... Hey, 12 divine. We're gonna craft some tablets here in a little bit. We got 15 of them. We'll get 5 more, then we'll craft 15 of them.
Speak.
Work on getting those sold. So we need a dextral exaltation. Perfect. On the cleat. On the way. Oh, mom. Hey.
Bring it on. Prove me prowess.
I need more time.
Hold on. The eye of the storm. Now there's a nice surprise. Wait. Need more time. A worthy foe. Need a moment. Fingers crossed what's on the side.
Darkness descends,
Any
and
more
with
time?
it, your end. Ah! The mists!
That's the big one.
good news for you.
Speak.
I'm gonna pull up some Fub Gun. He made a POE1 changes. They made some changes over here, so we're gonna watch a little bit of it. Listen to some in the
As you know,
background.
not everything is covered in the full review, so I'll go over all of the big patch note changes, stuff that was really big in the Q&A, and the review as well, because there's quite a bit to go over. So here's the list I wrote down. I'll go over each change. The first things first, the core game changes. So that, this stuff will also affect stuff like standard. Abyss reworked. So Abyss now works like Path of Exile 2. If you've never played POE2 before, essentially the Abyss is now static. There's no more cracks, doesn't move around. And the monster just spawns in a circle inside of it. It's way better. If you've never played the POE2 Abyss, this is way more fun than the POE1 version, and hopefully it is quite good. Of course, it did get more scarabs to go with it, but we don't really know how it's going to be. The one difference here, it won't have any abyssal currency drops, so no like Omen of Lights, no desecration, and it's just keeping the current Abyss jewel and belts. So we'll see if that's good enough to actually make Abyss a competitive from the end game. We'll have to wait and see. Next one is that Legion got the rewards reworked, but not really the Legion itself. So Legion more or less still plays exactly the same. They just changed the reward structure. So they removed incubators from Legion, and they also made the pool a little more denser, because there's not going to be like stuff like talismans in the pool now, and some other reward tiles as well. So presumably you should also get more currency rewards as a result. And they also changed the timeless domain. So you still drop timeless jewels, but you can now also put a unique into the timeless domain, and that transforms the unique into another unique while keeping one original property from the original unique. Example they used was that Light and Coil, for example, got the 20% fizz taken ads from Cloak of Flame, so you essentially had a ton of fizz taken ads on Light and Coil, you could get 70%. So yeah, very, very strong stuff here. Now it's going to be very, very RNG of what type of uniques you get and stuff. There's no way to guarantee any unique you want. It's just a random unique from the global pool, but you can use a boss unique, for example, and put it into a normal item. They did note you cannot use it on rings and belts, so you cannot have like a mage put a hand together. That would be quite insane. But yeah, jewelry is not allowed here. A massive change is that Chromatic Orb is changed and Sokka colors also permanently changed. So, you know, in POE1, we have Sokka colors. If you want to put a blue gem into your item, you have a blue socket, or a white socket in this case will support any gem. In the next patch, this is changing. Essentially, sockets by default are all going to be white. And if you get any colored sockets, you can put in any gem in there. So it works identical to a white socket, but it gets a 10% quality boost on top of that. So yeah, chromes are being massively changed. It's also going to be more rare. And getting your colors and stuff for campaign and early mapping is going to be substantially easier because all you need is the links and sockets now. It doesn't matter what color it has, doesn't matter if it's a green socket, you can still put a red gem in there. It just won't get a 10% quality bonus. Yeah, this should make leveling a whole lot better. No longer where you just get like frustrated and stuck on like, you know, wrong links and colors. Now using the socket links and you're good to go. Overall, very massive change, and it's going to be very, very nice to play with this. Another big change is like high end game. Synth Beast Rolling is dead. You can only get a singular Synth Implicit or 2 a Double Corrupt from a Val Orb now. You can't get Synth items anymore. All of Synth is, like I said, pretty much dead. It's only from a corruption outcome. Also, this is a massive player nerf for like, you know, the high-end people, right? People who actually mirrored multiple items, even only mirrored one item. You know how strong a mirror bow was, a mirror wand was, stuff like that. That's all gone now. If you wanted a Synth Implicit, for example, an Explode Wand, you would have to craft it yourself, corrupt it, and hope it hits explode. Yeah, very massive end game power nerf for like, you know, all like the top end players that did mirror multiple items. Definitely a really big player nerf here. Overall, I do like this change though, because yeah, Synth Beast Rolling was really, really bad for the game. I didn't think it was good, and now it is just removed. We'll have to see how these Val Implicits work though, because it is going to be quite rare. And it does also affect some other builds heavily. For example, like charge stackers, getting a +1 power charge or +1 friendly charge in your ring now becomes way harder because you're going to have to corrupt it to get that +1 instead of starting with a +1 base. Yeah, charge stacking is going to be a little more rough unless you only use unique rings. In that case, getting that +1 charge actually won't be that bad. Beast splitting is also removed. This is a pretty big change once again, more so for the high end. You know, you'd use to beast split your 30 quality items. So stuff like a 30 quality necrotic armor, you know, for example, like an armor like this. If you got a 30 quality necrotic, you would split it so you get 3 of them, and then so you have 3 30% quality necrotics. But that's gone now. You cannot split anymore. So yeah, 1 30% quality necrotic is going to be worth a lot more next patch. Another big change that is also just kind of quality of life though is that scrying. So, you know, scrying in POE1 was always quite annoying. You had to run the map multiple times until Nameless Seer pops up, and then, you know, you're able to scry. Next patch, you can just buy a scrying orb and scry any map you want to any other map. You just have to buy it with currency, and that's it. So that should be a really nice quality of life, especially for those who like the card farming. Path of Exile orb is staying in the core game, and not only drops from Sanctum. Crystallized Rancor for Harvest is also core, but Mirage currency, and this is from one of the new anomalies on the map. Merc's also in core, but in a very weird way. So they're no longer permanent unless you put a new Scion Ascendancy. They're just temporary buds, I guess. You fight them on one map, and they stay with you for that single map, and that's it. They go away after that, and you cannot change the gear whatsoever. The one exception to this is a new Scion Ascendancy, which I'll talk about in a second. But yeah, Mercs are core, and are mostly just essentially for the rewards they have on them, so the currency of the gear they have, and that's really about it. Talismans also received a pretty massive rework. So first things first, they only drop from Red Beast now, so it's a beast trait on a mechanic, and they don't drop from any other mechanic, and they no longer become corrupted, so you can now craft on these powerful beast implicit amulets. As for balance changes, overall, there wasn't that many balance changes outside of spells itself, and spells did get massively buffed overall. I think the 2 biggest notable changes here was Winter Orb got massively buffed. It went from 1 to 3 base projectiles and roughly 17% more damage. This is a pretty big buff for Winter Orb, and you know, it's going to be one skill a lot of people are going to play this patch for sure. EK also received a pretty big buff. This one got multiple buffs in multiple areas. It got more damage, more projectile speed, higher crit, also more base damage as well. Yeah, EK got a ton of buffs, and it's definitely a skill if you like playing before. Stuff like EK Ignite versus EK Map Explode Clear. This should also, you know, be quite good this patch as well. And like I said, in general, all spells received a buff. Outside of this, nothing else really got touched. There wasn't any like bow changes or melee changes. The only really big melee nerf I guess was the elemental hit for the melee, where the AoE got reduced in half and lost 17% damage. But yeah, besides that, it was just a ton of spell changes. In total, around 150 spells got buffed in some form or way. These 2, in my opinion, are just the 2 big standout ones, Winter Orb and Ethereal Knives. And then lastly, the new Scion Ascendancy. Like I was talking about earlier, this whole Ascendancy just allows you to have a permanent merc. No other class can have a permanent merc, and that's it. This is what the Ascendancy is entirely for. Overall, it should be quite powerful as merc builds work quite strong. Now, of course, you have to stack your entire Ascendancy for it, but you know, it should be quite strong. And definitely a few people I know are looking forward to playing this. So yeah, that's overall it probably the biggest changes in the patch notes. I think the whole synth feature is dead is pretty big. That's going to change the mirror market quite a bit. Mirrors probably will lose some value next patch. That's going to be a lot less desirable mirror items to actually make yourself. And stuff like need to Valor Orb your rings get +1 power or +1 frenzy charge will also make those stack builds quite a bit weaker as well. But yeah, that's about it. Those are my biggest changes with 3.29, and of course I'll have more of my 3.29 guides coming out in the next couple of days. But yeah.
All right, well, it's good to know. Good to know some stuff is coming up. Continue to watch some more videos, more things, more teams and things.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile, and welcome to GGG Live. We have massive changes to show you today with Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame, which is coming out next week on July 25th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so you'll be able to claim your Abyssal Soul Shatter rare finisher effect by following the instructions below. Let's not keep you waiting though. Roll the trailer for Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame.
The Oriflame calls us to the sea. To a lost wreck that still draws ghostly breath. A curse down below. With my lanterns, we can explore the sea floor. We must find the source of the Oriflame before the brine rot. Somewhere in the blackest depths, bounty and death await.
Shipment sent.
Okay, let's get rid of a lot of these tablets. A lot of these waystones.
Come find your fortune in the depths of the sea.
So now.
In today's stream, we'll be walking you through all the details of Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame, where you'll comb the ocean floor discovering sunken artifacts of forgotten origins, fight the horrors of the deep, and do your best to keep from being crushed by the waters above you. We're revisiting some familiar mechanics to bring new life to systems that have begun, perhaps, to show their age. Abyss and Legion will both be receiving significant upgrades, including a new pinnacle boss for Abyss, and a new chase crafting system for unique items in Legion.
Of course.
In addition to revamps of the existing leagues though, we're also bringing back some old friends. The Mercenaries of Trathus are making their way back to Rayclast. Then we'll explain our new endgame system. We will join Kirak in investigating anomalies appearing on the
I'll
Atlas.
do what I can to
After
sell
that,
for you.
we'll discuss the character and skill balance coming in Curse of the Oriflame. Finally, we'll cover our new set of supporter packs, after which we'll have a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will interview Path of Exile's game director Mark, as well as game designers Octavian and Andrew, answering your questions from Twitch chat. After the live stream, we'll drop the full patch notes at 11 AM NZT. So let's get started. I'll hand things over to Mark to introduce the new league.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, game director on Path of Exile. In Path of Exile Curse of the Oriflame, a long-forgotten mystery has begun to stir beneath Rayclast seas. Hidden in the icy depths lie strange and immensely powerful treasures, waiting for those bold enough to claim them. Meet Valerie, a dangerous Corsair captain who needs boots on the ground and on the seafloor to help her retrieve these treasures and unlock their potential. This is where you come in, to help her find the charts scattered across Rayclast. Then, use those to guide her ship to the patch of brine that holds loot for the taking. In return, you'll get a cut of the profits.
And then I need 14.
These lost charts are guarded by the undead, rival corsairs, or horrible creatures of the deep.
It's you.
Each of these monster encounters will also have a custom bonus for defeating the enemies. For example, successfully defeating the accursed undead that guard this treasure chest will cause the grateful trapped soul inside to grant you its power, possessing you and granting you ghastly power for the rest of the area.
Hail.
Once a chart is in hand, you'll board the good ship, the Sovereign. Valerie, or Val's, reappropriated Oriathan naval
I'll
vessel.
post it right away.
Here, Val introduces you to the heart and soul of her ship. Quite literally. Vesper, another Pondium native like Val, is bound to the ship. His soul burns with the Oriflame's curse, and were his comatose body to be removed from the ship, he would surely die. The silvery apparatus that lines the bows and eaves of the vessel allow him to steer the Sovereign anywhere in Rayclast's waters. Using the chart you've brought, Vesper can navigate to a location so you can scout it for Val,
right away.
and while doing so, claim whatever treasures there might be. How, though, will you avoid a watery grave once sunk below? Vesper controls a spark of the Oriflamme, a powerful and mysterious magic, which has been imbued into a number of devices aboard the ship, chief among them the bathysphere. This entirely safe and well-tested contraption of rivets, bolts, and metal will be your ticket beneath the waves to explore and plunder. While scouting the depths, in order to not need an ample supply of air, we're instead going to place All-Flame lanterns. These are conduits of the power that keeps Vesper alive and bound to the ship, and give you the temporary safety you need to do that exploring. Without them, you will drown. The first of these is strapped to the bathysphere and activates on landing, rushing the water away to reveal horrifying monstrosities, lost treasures, and a strange luminous coral growing from the corrupted dead in the oceans of Rayclast. These strange growths are the real reason Val has asked you to plumb these waters, as the coral can be broken down into dead man sulfur, the fuel that keeps Vesper's light burning. As you get to the perimeter of the safety provided by an All-Flame lantern, Val will drop more down at your request. There's also an option available to have new lanterns fired automatically for you as soon as you need them, if you prefer speed over fine control. Explore and claim what you can while you can.
I'll do what I can to sell
Lost
it for
fortunes
you.
of gold, chests of valuables, and lurking threats all lie in wait for you beneath the waves. You might even find the odd lost missive, waylaid on its travel to its intended recipient. But hey, finders keepers, right? Beware though, as Vesper can only power so many lanterns at once, and that power is finite. On placing the last of your lanterns, they will begin, one by one, to flicker and fade, and the creatures of the deep will rush in as they sense the vanishing of the light. You'll have to rush back to the safety of the bathysphere, escaping the cold clutches of creatures that despise the light you bring. You'll want to place every lantern though, as exploring to collect enough Deadman sulfur is the only way to successfully chart the area for the next step, planning a voyage. Val will keep a record of the areas you've charted, storing details in her journals. Once you've charted enough areas, just talk to Val, place your charts on Val's board, connect them together, and create one giant seafloor excursion. Each area you chart will reveal a special modifier that applies when it is used as part of a voyage, applied to either the charts adjacent to it or the whole voyage. Here are a few examples. This modifier causes all equipment dropped by monsters in adjacent charts to be converted to gold. This modifier will spawn friendly jellyfish alongside every pack of monsters in your voyage, which you will promptly slaughter for extra loot and experience, we're sure. This modifier causes all monsters in adjacent charts to be empowered by wildwood wisps. With 9 positions on your board for charts when constructing a voyage, these can stack up fast. There are also charts which can take you to specially rewarding areas of the ocean floor. Fields of anchors strewn with treasure chests full of loot, Calguran shipments lost at sea, and sunken abyssal pits teeming with monsters, to name just a few. There are even some ancient artifacts you might find and resurface. Additionally, the edges of the voyage board track the currents of corruption flowing through the waters of Rayclast, with randomized effects being rolled with each new voyage to affect the charts placed adjacent to them. These add even further rewards to your voyages, and can shake up the way you choose to place your charts. Stack all of that together, and a well-planned voyage, with a bit of luck, can be a very profitable endeavor. But with so much loot to claim, how are you going to get it all to the surface? Val has a solution
Buy them
for
all
just
up,
that
my
problem.
boy. Buy them all
In each
up.
of the charts that comprise your voyage, there will be a capsule waiting for you, sent down by Val, which can store about an inventory worth of loot. Stuff these full, send Val a signal, and she will pull it back up to the surface, safe and sound. Since voyages are built of 9 charts, that's a lot of opportunities to send back plenty of valuables. Once you're satisfied with the plunder from your well-planned voyage, find any of these capsule locations and call the bathysphere to it as your ticket out. Val will send it down to your rescue, as fast as you can. You just need to survive until it gets there. Good luck. Once you do, don't forget to empty all those capsules full of loot. Now, back to all that Deadman sulfur that you've been hard at work gathering. Is that just to keep the Sovereign afloat and Vesper alight? No, it's not. Once you've got a bunch of it, head below decks, and you'll find the heart of the ship at work. Whilst Vesper's body remains above deck, burning away in a contraption of tarnished pipes and corpse-stained glass, resides Vesper's soul, and you'll find him to be a pretty crafty fellow, if a bit melancholy. That's where this league's item crafting system comes into play. Give Vesper an item, alongside a currency that you could normally use on that item, and an ample supply of Deadman Sulfur. That item is then split into a multitude of ghostly forms, each of which will be the result of having applied that currency to the original item.
The wind howls.
You can then pick which of the ghostly outcomes you like best to keep for yourself. The others will go up in smoke, as Vesper can only reify a single outcome. This can be done with almost any crafting step you'd like. Want to see a few outcomes for that Influenced Exalted Orb?
Hold on.
Perhaps you've got a particularly expensive fossil combination you want to get maximum value out of. Do be wary though, as the more potent the craft, the more sulfur Vesper will require to see it down. That's not all, however, as the sea floor hides some yet undiscovered potential in the form of rare and valuable ducats. These can be consumed by Vesper to warp and twist items in ways not seen in centuries, such as Kishara's Ducat, which creates 4 ghostly copies of an item, each of which will keep one mod from the original, perfect for creating powerful crafting devices. The Gentile's Ducat, which can solve item or gem requirement problems by changing one attribute to another.
Need a moment.
And Brinehook's Ducat, with which you can become an emissary of the gods of Raycross. Who knows what these aspects might do? These Ducats come from special types of charts, so keep an eye out for them on your travels throughout Raycross. You may even find some that lead you to notably unwelcoming waters. So that covers the new league, and for the first time in Path of Exile, we're finally going under the sea. Some might even say this is the first real boat league. But that's not all, not even close. Next up, we've got an old favourite making a return. The mercenaries of Trathas are once again roaming Raycross, looking for hapless fools to duel. Mercenaries will start appearing from Act 3 and so. Before beginning a duel, you'll be offered an overview of the mercenary you've encountered. Here, you can see the gear they have equipped and the skills they employ. As per the Trathan code, you have the right to wager for an item the mercenary is carrying. You'll stake some of your gold, and the duel commences.
Artillery's an art.
If you lose, you forfeit the levied gold, and the mercenary will teleport out, repulsed at such a poor display. Win, however, and to the victor will go the spoils. In addition, if you win the duel, the mercenary will aid you as an ally for a number of areas. Trathan mercenaries are powerful allies to have in Raycross, assisting in a number of ways. Some mercenaries can provide you with powerful auras and buffs, while other mercenaries can do all the killing for you. While in map areas, if you don't like anything the mercenary offers, you have the ability to request their warrant. A warrant is a promise to return and duel again at a later date. A call to action that calls that specific mercenary to a future map, with the same set of skills, but a new set of items. A mercenary will only grant their warrant once, however, preventing you from fighting that mercenary in every single area. Warrants also allow you to trade specific mercenaries to other players. It is important to note that unlike in Mercenaries of Trathas Elite, having a mercenary does not count as a player party member. So having a mercenary does not increase monster life or the quantity and rarity of items dropped from monsters. Given that, you may be wondering, but what if I really like a mercenary I found? They have a great personality and powerful skills. Is there really no way I can keep them as an ally permanently? Well, you can, but only if you are a Scion. For the second time in 6 months, the Scion is getting a new Ascendancy class, the Luminary. The Luminary is a natural leader, lighting the way for others to follow. Becoming a Luminary immediately lets them allocate the Noble Blood passive, allowing them to permanently hire any mercenary they find in Raycross. Luminaries can have up to 3 permanently hired mercenaries, 2 in reserve and talented hideouts, and 1 as an active ally in combat. Unlike with regular mercenaries, you can change the items permanently hired mercenaries have equipped, opening up innumerate potential build possibilities. By default, permanently hired mercenaries cannot be equipped with unique items, but these passives enable them to equip specific types of uniques, while the legendary arms passive empowers mercenaries that have many different unique items equipped. Luminaries have the flexibility of becoming a support character to their mercenary, or having their mercenary support them. The Oath of Fealty and Golden Glory passives empower your mercenary by using your link skills on them. The Loyal Bodyguard and Bestowed Knighthood passives enable your mercenary to protect you in combat, as well as enhancing their aura skills. As with any old league that we add to the core game, we have added full Atlas Tree and Scarab support. Here are just a few examples. These passives allow you to much more easily target the specific types of mercenaries you want showing up in your maps. The Loot and Pillage passive gives mercenaries a chance to drop all their items when defeated, instead of just the one you selected. The Trathan Scarab of Renown makes it so the spawned mercenary is covered head to tail in unique items. And the Trathan Scarab of Infamy forces a more powerful, infamous mercenary to spawn, accompanied by 2 other mercenaries for a truly unfair duel. Unfair for them. There's even a few entirely new mercenary types, one of which is found exclusively on the seafloor in rare Curse of the Allflame encounters. Sellswords of Trathas won't be the whole of your problems in 329, however, as the denizens of the Lightless are getting some much needed updates with the modernization and rework of Abyss. When we brought Abyss over to Path of Exile 2 and Rise of the Abyssal, some functional changes to the mechanic were made to improve the gameplay significantly. In Curse of the Allflame, the majority of those changes will be making their way back to Path of Exile 1. The existing Abyss content had some notable problems. Aside from being very dated, it also required the player to follow a crack as it opens, often backtracking throughout already cleared areas. Now, as you approach an abyssal pit, and the cracks leading up to it, you will find that it is already open and spilling forth abyssal energy into the surrounding area, subjugating the souls of enemies unlucky enough to be within its influence. Slaying these enemies will send those souls spiraling down into the pit, drawing the attention and ire of the minions of Kulamark that dwell beneath. Slay enough of them, and the Abyssal Legion will spill forth from their domain to tear you apart. The upshot of this rework is twofold. Firstly, there is now much more visceral feedback in the moment-to-moment gameplay of Abyss, with audio and visual cues drawing the player along. And most importantly, you'll never need to chase a meandering abyssal crack around a map ever again.
Yes.
No more backtracking. However, be on your guard. The abyssal minions of Kulamark have some different tricks up their sleeves in POE1, and many employ entirely different skills to those of their POE2 counterparts. To be clear, there are still some aspects of the existing abyssal system that we will be keeping. Abyssal jewels and items with abyssal sockets will remain. In fact, we have given Abyss a similar treatment to what we did with Dell fossils in our last release, moving abyssal rewards out of other areas of the game to make Abyss the exclusive source of abyssal jewels and Stygian vices. This will also come with a complete refresh of abyssal scarabs and Atlas passive tree investment, with some truly dangerous and wild new ways to take on the lightless hordes. Lastly for Abyss, but definitely not least, Abyss is bringing an entirely new endgame pinnacle boss, with its own set of brand new unique items. This boss has a very unique way of accessing it. What does this eyeball do? Good luck figuring this one out. Let's move on to our next league being reworked, Legion. Every league should have distinct and interesting rewards that are exclusively available from that mechanic. This allows players to specialize in certain corners of the game, rewarding those who engage with a given mechanic. Legion is next on our list to receive this treatment. Despite having a unique combat mechanic, we felt Legion didn't have interesting exclusive rewards outside of timeless jewels. While incubators were technically exclusive to Legion, they effectively granted the same rewards that you could get elsewhere. So, what are we doing about it? Firstly, incubators are being removed. No longer will you have to remember to apply incubators to all your equipment every few maps. Instead, we will be adding a new type of reward exclusive to Legion, vestigial unique items. Legion generals and maps will have a chance to drop a new type of currency item, enshrouding crystals. These can be used on your unique armors. You can then take the enshrouded item to the domain of timeless conflict, which might look a little bit different to what you remember. A giant crystal emerges from the center of the domain, and there appears to be some sort of entity trapped inside, potentially the reason that these armies are engaged in eternal conflict. At the base of the crystal are a number of smaller crystals.
Just listening to some of the updates for POE1.
As we then kill monsters in the domain of timeless conflict, our gloves within the crystal begin to transform. And
Ritual's
once you've
done.
killed enough, the crystal becomes volatile
Makes
and
our
looks
bomb
ready to
cheaper.
fracture. I wonder what will come out.
Gonna hit some big items.
Our Shaper's Touch transformed into a Malagara's
Hit some
Virtuosity.
nice things.
But now, the Malagara's Virtuosity has a trace of the original enshrouded item bestowed
So we're
upon it,
working on that right
in the
there.
form
Hopefully we
of a
get it now.
vestigial implicit modifier.
15,000.
As you can see, enshrouding crystals
possible.
allow you to transfer powerful modifiers from one unique item onto another. Here are some more examples of vestigial unique items. Helmets, boots, gloves, shields,
I have
and
a buyer.
body armors. In addition to vestigial items, we are also making a number of small improvements to Legion. You no longer need to kill every last monster to begin the Legion encounter. Breaking out all the key monsters, chests, and the majority of monsters will be enough to start the combat automatically. No more cheeky single monster hiding in the corner, preventing your encounter from starting. Legion monsters drop fewer splinters, but in larger stack sizes, resulting in fewer clicks in each encounter. Unrelenting timeless emblems are medium, with regular timeless emblems absorbing many of their effects, causing the domain of timeless conflict to become harder, but more rewarding as you kill monsters. Your reward progress in the domain is now tracked by charging up these small purple crystals, rather than flooding your screen with hundreds of reward icons. The rewards are still the same, just not obscuring your screen with symbols. Talismans were introduced back in 2015, but over the years have been long neglected and lack a meaningful place or purpose. We are making a number of changes to bring talismans back to relevance. Firstly, talismans are now exclusive rewards from bestiaries. Every red beast has a chance to drop a talisman specific to that beast. For example, the Krashik Croaker can drop the Croaker Talisman. What makes these talismans special? Well, you'll notice a couple of changes compared to old talismans. Firstly, talismans no longer drop corrupted, making them far easier to craft once you find them. Secondly, the special modifiers on talismans are now enchantments, rather than implicits. This means they compete with blight anointments, allowing their effects to be significantly more powerful than before. Here are a few more examples of new talismans. Talisman unique items have all been improved, and now have a chance to drop from all bestiary bosses. Check out the new Eyes of the Great Wolf Talisman, which has some crazy possibilities. So that is everything covering the new and reworked League mechanics in 329. Now, that's already quite a lot of in-game content, with mercenaries returning, an upgraded Abyss, Legion's new reward mechanic, and of course, everything the Curse of the Oriflame League has to offer. But even with all of that, we're not done, because what about the Atlas itself? Given Zana's actions to try and destroy it in the last two expansions. Zana's actions are causing the Atlas to become ever more destabilized. Strange locations have begun to manifest on the Atlas, many of which seem to be bleeding over from familiar places in Rayquaza. Kerak has labelled these as anomalies. When you complete maps affected by a Void Stone, there is a chance that when you next open your Atlas, an anomaly may manifest. Like this one, the Mana Foyer. Like regular maps on the Atlas, you can select them at your map device, but unlike regular maps, these don't require an item to enter.
Let's do this.
It looks like this area is the abode of Cadero Pirandus. Cadero is willing to offer valuable items in exchange for our gold. If you don't like what is on offer, you can reject it, and he will immediately offer another item. The next offer will cost more gold, but hopefully is much more valuable to you. If you don't have enough gold for the offered item, don't worry. Cadero is happy to wait for you to replenish your coffers. You can return to the area at any time. The anomaly will not disappear from the Atlas until you either purchase an item or reject all his offers. Anomalies are unique in this regard. Unlike other locations on the Atlas, these areas can often be revisited. Let's quickly run through a few of the anomalies that can manifest. Reflecting Mists and the Nameless Seer no longer randomly spawn within maps, but instead now appear in their own anomaly areas. Scrying is no longer the domain of the Nameless Seer, but instead can be done through the new, tradable Scrying Orb. Some anomalies grant a taste of League mechanics you might not normally run, without having to be fully investigated. For example, this anomaly creates a random, fully revealed heist blueprint wing, with random rogue companions. This anomaly has a version of the Sacred Grove, where the plants have fully taken over. This Strongbox seems to have a strange mechanism. Atlas anomalies are unaffected by your Atlas skill tree, and you can't augment them using any fragments. Therefore, they can be run at any time, without feeling like they have to be saved for later to maximize the potential rewards. There are many more Atlas anomalies to discover for yourselves, each of them tied to a specific Atlas quadrant. It is therefore worth discovering which ones can spawn in each part of the Atlas, as it may influence what Atlas strategy you wish to pursue. So that is a heap of new challenges to encounter, from the League and the in-game. But you may be asking, what new tools do we have to face these challenges? In 329, we are giving a bit of love to spellcasters, specifically those that cast spells themselves. But first, let's address the elephant in the room that astute players may have noticed. Yes, I'm talking about those socket colors. So, after the better part of 2 decades, in 329, we're making a fairly radical change. Sockets, at a basic level, don't have colors anymore. You can now put any colored gem into any socket. We're doing this to address a long-running issue for both new and experienced players. I'm sure almost everyone who has played before has run into the issue of finding a notable upgrade and have struggled to find a way to equip it. Maybe you find an amazing body armor, one that will give you a substantial boost to your defenses, but you just can't move the skill or support gems over because the colors of the sockets just don't match, and you didn't luck out with your Chromatic Orbs. It's not fun when you have to unequip a bunch of skills or supports just to use a better item. This can still happen with the socket numbers and socket links, so it's not like it's just purely trivial, but the colors were just unnecessary. And not only prevented upgrading gear, it limited build experimentation. So, given that, what do the colors on gems with regards to sockets even now mean? Well, the colors on gems for sockets are still relevant, just as an upgrade system. You can still find items with colored sockets, and you can craft them onto items. They are just rarer and more powerful. Most importantly, they don't restrict what can be socketed into them. So how are they more powerful? Well, if you were to find an item with, say, a green socket, you can put a green gem inside of it to get an additional quality bonus to that gem. This allows socket colors to be a purely positive outcome on an item, while not just simplifying the system away. You can also still change the color of sockets on your items using a chromatic orb, which now guarantees at least one red, blue, or green socket. This change will make it easier for everyone to upgrade items and maintain their build, especially while progressing.
Sold it.
Speaking of builds and gems, we wanted to make sure we improve some of those, specifically for spellcasters. Let's get into that. Spellcasters have a large number of different skills to choose from, but often many skills play and scale in similar ways. We have done a pass through existing spells, differentiating spell damage types from each other. For example, Shadow's physical spells, like Ethereal Knives and Bladefall, now have a much higher critical strike chance than other spells at the expense of damage. Pure lightning spells now all have generally higher cast speeds, but they cost more mana per second than other spells. We noticed that some of the Ascendancy classes for Shadow, Witch, and Templar were lacking options for general spellcasting, so we've added a new notable to the Assassin.
Alright, so yeah, that looks like some fun stuff to be had. I don't know what a lot of it means because I've never played Path of Exile 1, but not long term anyways, not long enough for me to really know what to do. It's like a lot of cool in-game changes, in-game changes have occurred. So we'll see what happens. See what happens, my guy.
Need a moment.
It can still be routine, but not like this.
The eye of the storm. A clean kill.
Yep. Needed it. this game. Hoeing me right now.
I need a moment to prepare. Wait. The wind howls. Take this.
Yeah, buddy. Omen of Whittling. Chaotic Rarity. Omen of Effectiveness. Starting to go up a little bit.
Yes? Indeed.
Okay, so let's go.
Yes?
Toss this coffee out real quick. 1 second, chat. Let's see. So I picked up this piece of armor. I'm just asking what I should do about it. Let's add some quality to it. For div, hey. We damn near rolled it perfect, so I mean, alright.
Have an order? I'm sure someone will want that.
What is it?
Can I help? I'll fill that in as soon as I can.
Ew, that's disgusting. Okay.
Here we go.
Bring it on.
Await your return. Let the sun curl your flesh.
The rocks will consume you.
Speak.
Yes? I'll do what I can to sell it for you.
Time to finish what the Magi started. Wind Fury!
Mark for death. A sliver of what my home feels like. Godria cannot help you here.
Proof of its prowess!
Aka
Can I help? Have an order? Seems like a good deal.
There it is. Let's move.
is it?
Hail.
is it?
Can I help? Someone is bound to buy that. Good news for you.
corpse will feed the new tomorrow.
I need more time.
Destroy! Godly fiends, let them die!